Welcome to Magic One TV. Welcome to the Your Take Show, where we set discussions on nutrition, not just nutrition without direction, but nutrition based on the concerns that you actually send us. So it's you that actually matters on this show. If you're new here, be a part of us, and we'll be letting you know how you can actually engage with me on my other social media platforms. We'll be taking you through the food throne this week, and then go into the discussion room, then finally do our take of the week, and then I'll leave you with a wellness quote. But now it's time for me to grab a seat and let's start talking. So in our food throne this week, starting off our show, we'll be talking about cassava, like you can see here. Most other people in other countries know it as tapioca, but in Uganda we actually do call this muwogo. Cassava is also a very, very staple food down here in Uganda, and it's important because it helps us to balance our diets. But what are the nutrients we can actually gain from cassava? Number one, it's a high starch food, so it has a lot of calories embedded in there. For people that are looking for something that will give you energy, then this is one of the things that you can actually eat to be able to get that energy. Also, if you're trying to gain weight, this could be one of the ways that you can actually gain the weight with extra calories that you might need. But cassava also has fiber in it. Since it is a root vegetable or a root tuber, it actually has fiber in it, and fiber we all know, or you should know, if you did not know, you should know that fiber actually helps us with our overall digestive tract health. So it's very important. Now, as much as this particular root tuber is actually healthy for us, it also has its side effects, and we should be watching out for that. So the side effects that cassava can actually have, as much as it's a very healthy food, you know, one that will help us gain weight, one that will give us energy, it also has anti-nutrients in it, which are very destructive for our nutrition, because as much as you're eating other nutrients, these anti-nutrients that can be contained in cassava might actually work against those nutrients you're eating. So you might want to, number one, not eat too much cassava at once, and then number two, not eat it too frequently. So it shouldn't be an everyday meal. I know it's tasty, I know when it's fried, when it's roasted, it's just awesome and heavenly with that chai mukalu or that black tea. But the thing is, if you're going to do it too much, you'll also be experiencing side effects. Cassava can also make you have constipation, so you might want to take it easy on cassava as well. Because of that, you don't want to be struggling to, you know, have a bowel movement in the toilet or have a toilet round. So you might want to also make sure that you're still not having a lot of cassava in your diet. Well, that's about cassava. Let's get into our discussion room. Here we really just talk about the lessons we have learned from all the great questions that you actually do ask on nutrition. Starting us off in the discussion room is Seth Lincoln, and he was asking, please outline the advantages and disadvantages of using ACV as a tool for weight loss. Now, ACV, for those that don't know, is apple cider vinegar. It's the apple flavored version of vinegar. So you have white vinegar, but this one is like the apple flavored version. And of course, gotten by fermenting apples mostly. What lesson can we learn from his lesson? By the way, for those that are just joining us on this show, you might want to know that the actual detailed responses we put down on the Facebook page, and the Facebook page name is Amanda Tweba's a nutritionist. But here, what we do is just take a recap or grab some of the lessons that we can actually learn from the questions being asked. And that's why here we'll not be talking about the detailed responses. Yes, so back to our ACV. When it comes to ACV, it definitely does help with weight loss in various ways that you'll see on the Facebook page, some of which are it can help you get full for longer. It also has a lot of antioxidants in it that will help you, just have a better metabolism, so you're actually able to lose weight, among other different benefits of ACV for weight loss. But I would like for you to note that if you're going to be using ACV, try and get that or buy that, which in the ingredients list shows you is ACV, but with its mother. Now, if the ACV has its mother in there, it means you'll be getting added benefits from that mother. Some of which include there are extra proteins that you can get out of it, there are extra enzymes that you can get out of having ACV that has its mother, as opposed to just buying a regular ACV. So when you're buying ACV in the supermarkets, check that you see it usually has ACV with the mother. Yeah, so that's something we can learn from Seth's question. Thank you so much for asking that. Social media platforms that you can actually connect with me on Facebook, Amanda Tweba as a Dash Nutritionist. On Instagram, my handle is Food Witness. On Blogger, I do have a blog. The blog name is amandatwebaze.blogspot.com. On YouTube as well, we are Amanda Twebaze Dash Nutritionist. If you're the WhatsApp person and that's the best way for you to send in your message, then please go ahead and do that. The number is 0782 152610. Second question is coming in from Brian. Now Brian is wondering, is Minute made as nutritious as my homemade mango juice? Now, we don't want to talk about brand names, of course, because we're not here to, defame people or different brands. But this is what I can tell you. If you look at a product or you're buying a product, it's not freshly made by you or by the people that you trust, where you know the ingredients being used are actually natural, are actually organic and more benefiting of health. If you're buying a product that has been manufactured elsewhere, please check through the ingredients list. That will always be your light and guide to know what actually is contained in that particular product or drink. Of course, make sure that you're also checking if it has been certified, maybe by UNBS or those particular validation organizations, because then we also have people that are schemers that make fake products, and they might say they have this and that ingredients in their food, and yet it's a completely different story in the real world. So check to see if the product, first of all, is certified, but on top of that, as you look through the ingredients list, make sure the ingredients are things you can pronounce. That's a very simple tip. Make sure they are things that you actually recognize, that you can even give your grandma in the village and they'll be able to recognize. So say if it is mango juice made by a particular company, check to see that it is mango, water, no added maybe colors or flavors in there, because that means there are extra things which are not natural that have been put in there. So you want to make sure that you're able to actually pronounce these words, you're able to identify these things from the ingredients list in the shortest time possible, in like 10 seconds. Then you'll know that that's a safe drink for you. So I will not go talking about brand names, but I hope that helps you, Brian. Our third question is coming in from DIT. DIT says, I rarely shed off weight and it's stressing me out. If I do, then it's a miracle, and yet I put on weight so easily. Even in a day, my body is capable. You must be thinking exercise, but that hasn't helped me or given me any results I can appreciate. Any nutrition advice or diet for me? So here is when reality kicks in, that our bodies are actually different. We have been exposed to different lifestyles. We've been exposed to different upbringings in terms of our food patterns, food, styles and behavior. So all these things have, and even genes as well, all these things have come in to affect how our body actually metabolizes food. And so you'll find someone will lose weight much faster, another person will take a longer time, another person will just not even want the weight to go and it will just keep going. So we have different bodies at the end of the day. I do recommend very highly that you visit a diet specialist, see a nutritionist, so that you can have a one-on-one plan, cutting corners here and there and trying to just, do work on your own without guidance, without, especially if your body seems to be now a troublesome one when it comes to losing weight. It might, frustrate you in the end and make you just lose focus of your actual goal, yet it's very possible to lose weight. So I recommend that you actually acknowledge that we have different body types. Don't compare yourself to another person, but seek for advice, like actually go and have consultations with these specialists. Fourth question is coming in from Lydia. Lydia says, how can I get rid of excess gas in my stomach? So if your stomach is not healthy, if your stomach doesn't have the passage of food, swift, then you're going to have problems with, you know, bloating, with gas, with discomfort, with stomach pain. Some people will be vomiting, others would have acid reflux. Like, there are so many issues that can stem up from an unhealthy stomach or gut lining. That should tell you that we should be focusing a lot on making sure that our gut and digestive tract is healthy. So eat things that actually benefit your digestive tract, that make it healthy, that give it the, for example, the good bacteria able to grow in there, so that it actually helps keep the integrity of your stomach lining really good and really high up there. So what I would recommend is, yes, it's really important that we take care of our gut lining, but make sure that you are using foods that also move swiftly through the stomach lining. So don't eat things that are going to, for example, don't eat too much cassava at one go, because it will be all stuck up there, and that's why you find there's constipation along the way. So eat foods that move swiftly. Yes, you have probably cassava, but make sure you're mixing it up with, say, vegetables. That's one very sure way to make sure that things are moving in your system and that good bacteria is actually growing. This is our last question of this discussion room this week, and it's coming in from Alison. Alison says, what foods can one eat to heal fibroids, and which exercises can one do? The different foods you will find down on the Facebook page as usual, but here what I would like to point out is, when it comes to fibroids, inflammation is a real big problem for fibroids. It actually makes the fibroid situation worse, and so you need to deal with inflammation. Some of the foods that will make you feel more inflamed or have so much inflammation down in your internal body system are having too much fatty foods, processed foods, you know, animal foods. All these are just not the right foods if you're trying to fight inflammation. So try and look out more for, you know, diets that are more plant-based. Look out more for diets that are more fluid. Look out more for diets, like we said in the previous question, that actually let food move swiftly through your digestive gut, so that it can actually be metabolized swiftly as well. So that's one thing I would like for you to note when it comes to fibroids. In terms of exercises, if you try out an exercise and it's not giving you discomfort, especially depending on the size of these fibroids that you might be having, if it's not making you uncomfortable, then, you know, go ahead and do it. You can be as creative as can be, you know, do your swimming, do your, for example, planks, do your skipping, just, you know, blow out, but always observe. If you feel that, you know, something is making you so uncomfortable in that fibroid area, then you might want to switch to another type of exercise. Well, that ends our discussion room. I'm taking you into the take of the week now. So in the take of the week, we were discussing on Facebook, where we have so much nutrition talk going on there, so you might want to join it. We were discussing on Facebook how, you know, us the health professionals on our end, we should do much more to actually explain to patients about the procedures we're taking them through, why, you know, what it's used for, and explain these things instead of just outlining names which are so alien to them, you know, that they end up starting to fear. You know, people fear what they don't know. So they end up starting to fear the healthcare system as a whole. Approaching and consulting these health professionals becomes an issue, because they're like, you know what, those are like some demigods of some sort from another planet, and us, we are down here on this other end. So we'll just look for any other alternatives, which could be traditional medicine or things that are actually not going to be very beneficial to help you treat a condition. So that's what we're talking about, and this is one of the comments that we got from someone called Neri Mugabe Nicholas. He was saying, indeed you are right, but again, a medical note for a procedure or treatment given should be provided to the patient. And I think that's really important. I think people do that, but you know how we say, you know, doctors have this handwriting that's just never understood by anyone. So we end up not, you know, just understanding what exactly is going on, especially if the doctor or the health professional doesn't go the extra mile to explain to this client on top of writing down. I think there should be those two things, you know, let there be a verbal explanation or breakdown, and also a written explanation or breakdown of what's actually going on to the patient, because at the end of the day, it's the patient's body. I think that would really be helpful. Thank you so much, Neri. Now we're going into the wellness quote, because I'm about to say, the wellness quote today says, invest in yourself. You can afford it. So usually we want, or we have been made to think that investing in yourself means having chizigo, you know, which will lighten you. Investing in yourself means you have to have those extra long, very expensive artificial nails and acrylics. And yet really, investing in yourself just means tend to the inside coming out. So invest in yourself, invest in things that actually grow you, things that nurture you and nourish you, things that combine your inner elements, you know, your mind, your body, your soul, and your body as well. Oh, we've already said the body, sorry. So things that actually combine those inner elements and make them thrive. Not just about outward appearance and what people will say, but on the inside, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel good about yourself? So try and prioritize what you're investing in and start with your actual body needs, your personal needs. If it is you need to speak to a counselor, invest in that. If it is you actually need to, you know, just go and take a vacation for a short while, do that, because it matters that you invest in yourself. And most times we think these things are so expensive, but they really are not. You know, look for the simplest of things and you'll find that's what actually nourishes our lives and our bodies. So invest in yourself because you can afford it. Okay, so now the show is done and I am hoping to see you next week. I'm very sure that you've enjoyed this show because I've been excited just speaking to you as well. I'll see you next week, but until then, do not forget to follow me, you know, just go to the social media platforms. Maybe I should re-mention them for those that missed out in the beginning. On Facebook, it's Amanda Tweva the Dash Nutritionist. On YouTube, it's Amanda Tweva the Dash Nutritionist. On WhatsApp, the number is 0782 152610. On Instagram, my handle is Food Witness. My email, amanda.chichoncho@gmail.com. So there you have it. You can now connect with me even after this show, and let's keep talking about nutrition and stay in the spirit of wellness. Please remember that wellness is an adventure. Until next time, keep it Magic One TV. I'll see you soon. Bye.